Hi friends, welcome on YourPedia, the platform where you are getting the best content and module for Airport Authority of India exam, जो ATC का आपका जूनियर एग्जीक्यूटिव वाला एग्जाम है. और my this particular video is related to a very important topic of general knowledge component of Airport Authority of India exam, that is polity, Indian polity, and in Indian polity also the articles. So when we talk about Indian polity, the Constitution of India is a very important topic, and from Constitution of India important articles is very important topic. So my this particular video is related to articles. There is a dedicated YouTube channels, WhatsApp groups which you can join, and all these documents we are sharing in those WhatsApp groups and on Telegram groups. So contact details of WhatsApp groups for Airport Authority of India and Telegram groups are added with my video. You can join these for getting any kind of content from the mentors. Now these videos, which are demonstration videos for you and maybe informative videos for you to tell you how to prepare for different components of this exam. Now when it comes to Airport Authority of India exam, it is very competitive because even 1 mark will count, and if you follow proper strategy and if you have proper content to prepare, then this exam is not difficult. So effort should go in right direction. Okay, now coming to Constitution of India, you know Constitution of India is the main law of land. So entire power of executive, judiciary, legislature that flows from Constitution, and our Constitution was adopted on 26th November 1949 and it came in force on 26th January 1950. When it came in force, at that time Constitution was having couple of schedule, couple of chapters, couple of articles, but now that number is changed. Today we have more than 400 articles and we have 25 parts, we have 12 schedules, so that is little bit idea about that, and more than 100 amendments. So when we do Constitution, we should know which are the important amendments, which are the important schedule, which are the important articles, and which are important parts that should be known. My today's video is related to important articles. Many students find it difficult to memorize the articles. There is a way to memorize. I mean, you can memorize the article by knowing the parts in which these are, and the list which I am providing you is important, friends. So I will start first with the, you are watching the for Airport Authority of India, this module which is for June 2025 exam is expected, and Airport Authority of India did not conduct exam in 2024, but it is conducting in 2025 only. Now my today's lecture is about Indian polity, and that we are doing important articles of the Constitution. So these were the previous year's questions asked from the articles, and if you see the kind of articles they asked, the articles they asked were important. I mean, you need to have some idea and you need to memorize couple of articles, more than 50 articles, to answer these kind of questions. So is asking about High Court authority, contempt of court. So High Court and Supreme Court have power of contempt of court. So under which article the contempt of court power is there for High Court, Supreme Court, that you should know. Then in 2023 itself, another question which was asked from here was related to Parliament. I mean, in which article Parliament is mentioned. President, Council of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha are basically part of Parliament. So Indian Parliament is made up of 2 houses plus President of India as institute. So 79 article. Then another question which was asked in 2021 that was related to District Planning Committee 243ZZ. Again, it's a tick list. So Panchayat and municipality articles, because Panchayat and municipalities are third tier of the government, and there are different articles. So Panchayati Raj have article 243 to 243P, and municipalities have articles 243O, 243ZZ. So these are the articles and some important articles you need to know. Then similarly, when it comes to Controller and Auditor General, which article is mentioning about this constitutional office. So these were a couple of questions from the previous year, from where we get an idea that what kind of question can be asked. Now this document is talking about the articles. As I told you, around 450 articles we have. You are not to memorize all the article, but important articles you should know. So Indian Constitution as of now has 25 parts, 12 schedule and 448 article. So knowledge about this schedule, which schedule is mentioning about what, that is important, and some important articles which are in news should be there, should be known. When Constitution came in force, there were 8 schedule, now we have 12 schedule. When Constitution earlier was there, it was less than 400, now articles are more than 400, so 450. 26th November 1949 and 26th January 1950, these are the 2 dates you should be aware. So friends, let's start with the now parts. So which part is talking about what? So part 1 is about union and its territories, and article number 1 to 4 are in part 1. So you should know which part, and in that part roughly how many articles, what number of articles come. Part 1 is talking about union and its territory, part 2 is citizenship, part 3 is fundamental right. So fundamental right part is very important. So if you ask me, sir, which are the most important parts of Indian Constitution from where there is a probability of question being asked, so which part? Most of the time he will ask you fundamental rights of the Constitution are under which part. So part 4 is the directive principle, part 4A is the fundamental duty. A means it was added later on, so this article was also added later on, fundamental duties. Today we have 11 fundamental duties, and that is under part 4A. So these are the most important parts from where question comes, part 3, part 4, part 4A. And part 5 comes union, where president and this union government comes. Part 6 is states. Part 7 is now repealed this particular part, 7th Amendment 1956. Part 8, part 9 is Panchayat, municipality is talking about, part 9b, part 10. So then comes part 11, part 12, part 13, 14, 15, 16, 15 is elections, that also is important. So part 15 where elections are mentioned. So these are some of the important parts. Part 18 is emergency provisions. So these are some important parts, and amendment of the Constitution, article 368. So some articles which are very important, and some parts which are very important, you should have some knowledge. So just cursory you should go through that which part is talking about which article. So there are 25 parts, so one part is repeal, that is eliminated now. So which part is most important, that I told you 15, 18, 3rd, 4th, 5th, these parts are important, and Panchayati Raj schedules are important, 11th and 12th schedule, Panchayati Raj. At the same time now, Panchayat is, see if I talk about Panchayat, the part is 9th but schedule is 11. So Panchayati Raj is mentioned in part 9 but schedule 11. Municipality is mentioned in part this but schedule 12. So schedule 12 is for municipality, and part is 9. So 9A, 9 and 9A. So some from where you should remember little bit about parts. So which part is talking about what. So then part 15 is election, part 18 is emergency, those things you should be knowing. So these are some of the important parts. Now which are the important articles? So whenever you are to create a new state, so that formation of new state and procedure, article 2 and article 3 are mentioned where new state can be created. So Telangana was the latest state created in 2014 by previous government, so that is under article 2 under article 3. So creation of the new state, article 2, formation of new state, article 3. So there are certain provisions, the process is also mentioned how it is to be done. So if only one article under what is the procedure of creating new state, parliament by simple majority can create a new state, that is article 3. So citizenship is part 5, and part 3 talks about fundamental rights. Now we have 6 fundamental rights. Right to property no more is a fundamental right, it is a legal right now under article 300A. So part 6 fundamental rights are right to equality. So you should know the articles. Equal opportunities in the jobs, article 16, abolition of untouchability, abolition of the titles. So you need to remember these these articles. सो राइट टू इक्वालिटी में कौन कौन से आर्टिकल आते हैं, आर्टिकल 14 क्या बोलता है, 15 क्या बोलता है, 16 क्या बोलता है. सो व्हाट दीज आर्टिकल्स आर, यू नीड टू रिमेंबर इट. इन केस ऑफ फंडामेंटल राइट ऑफ इक्वालिटी इन जॉब्स, that is article 16. 17 is abolition of untouchability, you cannot practice. In fact, article 17 and article 24 are the absolute, these two are absolute laws in the constitution, and there is no exception to these. Article 19 is the most important fundamental right, right to freedom, freedom of speech, assemble. So all these are further components of right to freedom, that is article 19. 20 is protection in respect of conviction of an offense. 21 right to life, and that is very very broadly interpreted. So article 21A is the right to education. So article 21A, it was amended later on, added later on. This is the right to elementary education till 8 years, till 8 classes, 8th class, that is till 14 years of age. Once you are 6 years of age, you are in first class. Once you are 14 years, you are in 8th class. So first to 8th class free and compulsory education is to be provided. Article 21A, that is right to education. So that comes under right to life and personal liberty. So protection against arrest or detention. 22, right against exploitation. So prohibition of employment of children under age of 14, because right to education is still 14 years of age. So these are the against exploitation. Right to freedom of religion. Now this particular right to manage religious, this 26, 27 is very important nowadays because of Waqf board. So you may be knowing there is a Waqf board issue going on, where Waqf board can have its properties, and the case is pending now in Supreme Court. Government wants some amendment in Waqf board act, which was 1995. So some amendment, 2025 act is passed. So that is article 26. Minority can manage their religious affairs, and freedom to pay tax, or their promotion of their own religion. So minorities right under religion are 26, 27. Cultural and educational rights of minorities, 29, 30, and this article 32 gives the power to the citizens to approach Supreme Court. So if our fundamental rights are violated, we can directly approach Supreme Court and knock the doors of Supreme Court. So under Constitution, the responsibility to protect the rights of the citizen is given to Supreme Court directly. For other violation of the rights, you cannot directly go to Supreme Court. First you go to need to go to district court, and then high court, then by appeal to Supreme Court. But if your fundamental rights gets violated, you can directly knock the doors of Supreme Court. That is mentioned under article 32, and very very important article, heart and soul it is called, of Indian Constitution. Directive principle of state policy, whichever article is mentioned in directive principle of state policy, it is not justiciable. That means if it is not fulfilled, you cannot go to judiciary, you cannot go to Supreme Court, that okay, it is mentioned here but I am not getting, because it is non-justiciable. You cannot seek justice for this. It is called just directive principle of state policy. Like earlier, certain article like 40, now there is a village panchayat, but earlier there was directive principle of state policy that in future government will create village panchayat. Directive principle, that means whenever a government will make some kind of policy, the government will look towards these principles. So whenever some law is to be made or policy is to be made, that will be made in accordance with these laws. So that is what directive principle of state policies are. Like right to work, right to education. Now right to education is a fundamental right, article 21A, but that time it was directive principle of state policy. Two very very important directive principle of state policy news nowadays are article 44, uniform civil code. Waqf board, that is also related to uniform civil code, is related to that also. As of now in Uttarakhand and Goa we have uniform civil code, but not in other states. Article 39A, equal justice and free legal aid. If somebody cannot pay for his legal help, then free legal aid is to be provided by government. So article 43A, participation of workers in management of industries, that is there. And related to promotion of international peace and security, 51. Now part 4A is fundamental duties. It was added later on, through 86th Amendment Act added one more fundamental duty. So 42nd Amendment Act, which is called mini constitution, because that was the major amendment act and it changed almost everything. Now you see, 1976 when Indira Gandhi was prime minister, emergency was going on. 1975 to 77 emergency was there in India. So 42nd amendment was brought at the time when Indira Gandhi was prime minister and emergency was going on. So this 42nd Amendment Act is called a mini constitution because it changed so many articles in Indian constitution. It changed a lot, including preamble. Preamble was changed only once and amended only once, and that was 42nd Amendment Act 1976. So 42nd Amendment Act 1946 is very important and उसने fundamental duties को डाला था. There, as of now there are 11 fundamental duties. There were 10 in 1976 and 11th was added when right to education was basically implemented. So what is 86th Amendment Act? Somebody asked you what is 86th Amendment Act. What did it change? It added article 21A, which is right to education. So when right to education was added, then it duty to the parents of students or the kids who were less than 14 years, a duty was added that you are to take them to the school and get them right to education. So what was 86th Amendment Act? Sir, it was related to right to education 21A. How many fundamental duties we have? Sir, 11. When was it added? 42nd Amendment Act 1976. Other important articles, Article 52 talks about President of India. 54 talks about how it will election of President of India will be conducted by Election Commission of India. Impeachment of President, how shall you do? Article 61. President can pardon the some kind of people. The pardoning power is 72. Council of Ministers will be there to aid and advise President. Council of Ministers will be headed by Prime Minister. Article 74. Some designatory like Attorney General of India, 76. Parliament will be constituted with 3 components. One is Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and third is President of India. President of India is a component or part of Parliament, 79. Rajya Sabha 80, Lok Sabha 81. Duration of Houses of Parliament 83. Speaker and Deputy Speaker 93. So House of Parliament ki privileges 105. Money Bill 110. Annual Financial Budget is 112. Appropriation Bill 114. If Parliament is not in not in session, it is in recess, then President can promulgate ordinance, President can make the laws. Article 123. Supreme Court is 124. Salary of judges 125. Appointment of ad hoc judges 127. Supreme Court is a court of record, that is 129. Special leave appeal to Supreme Court 136. And then important is Controller and Auditor General, which was asked previously, 148. 149 is powers. Governor of State is 153. Executive power of Governor 154. Pardoning power of Governor 161. Advocate General of State, like Attorney General in the center, there is an Advocate General in the state, 165. Now Governor can also make powers, this ordinance 213. Now this also is much in news nowadays because many states may governors are withholding the bills of the state legislative assemblies for reference of President. High Court 214. High Court to be court of record 215. So power of High Court to issue the writ jurisdiction is 226. So Article 32 writ jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Article 32 and Article 226 are very, very important. This is the writ jurisdiction. I'll explain you in next of the classes what is writ jurisdiction. That means writ means order. So Supreme Court can give order to government or public sector or private individual to get certain things done. That authority or power of Supreme Court to give direction to someone is called a writ jurisdiction. Under Article 32, that Supreme Court has writ jurisdiction. Under Article 226, High Court have writ jurisdictions. District Court Judge is mentioned 233. Gram Sabha is mentioned under Article 243. So Article 243 is related to Panchayat and municipalities. Article 243 in detail is mentioned below. So the articles of 243 are very, very important. So please remember ABCD component of Article 243. Gram Sabha is nothing but voter of village panchayat. Voter. So anyone who is less than 18 years is not component part of Gram Sabha. Insane mind is not Gram Sabha member, right? Whosoever is the voter of Gram Sabha, Gram Panchayat is Gram Sabha, and it is a direct democracy. So Gram Sabha is to meet, I think, once in 6 months, and then they have to discuss about the matters related to village, what they want to do. So constitution of the Panchayat, consolidated fund, article 220, 266, 267. So 266 is public account fund and consolidated fund of India. 267 is contingency fund of India. So this consolidated fund of India is at the discretion of Parliament to release money from it, but contingency fund of India, President can take the money from this. Finance Commission is constituted after every 5 years by President, and article 280 is talking about that. Article 300A is now right to property is a legal right, not a fundamental right. Article 301 freedom of trade. 302 Parliament can impose restriction. All India services, there are 3 All India services: Indian Administration Services, Indian Police Services, and Indian Forester Services. These are 3 All India services, cadre based services, which are under article 312. Union Public Service Commission, article 315. Administrative Tribunal, Election Commission of India, 324. National Commission for SC/ST. So official language is 343. These are some another, now 3 are emergency provisions. There are 3 emergency provisions. Article 352 is a national emergency, imposed I think 3 or 4 times in India. Article 356 is president rule. Recently president rule was imposed in Manipur. Article 360 is financial emergency. It was never imposed in India. Then article 368 is very, very important. It is the power of Parliament to amend the constitution. 370 is related to Jammu and Kashmir, but it was now abolished. It was diluted. It is no more there. 2019 it was removed. Article 370A, special power to other states, is also there. And then Panchayat, article 243 to 243O. Now you know Panchayat is rural area of India and municipalities are urban areas. So local body governments in rural area are Panchayat, which are mentioned under article 243 to 243O, and it is under part 9 of Indian Constitution, Panchayati Raj, and Schedule 11. So 73rd Amendment Act is related to it. 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992 gave the constitutional status to the Panchayati Raj bodies. Very, very important. And as of now it is at village level, block level, and district level. So these are 3 levels. So there are some articles, you need to go through these articles, friends. Article 243A talks about Gram Sabha. Then article 243B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. There are certain things like mention which are very, very important, and this H is the tax giving powers to Panchayat. Yeah, Constitution of Finance Commission, article 243I is creation of the Finance Commission for reviewing the financial position of Panchayat. There is a Finance Commission under article 280 also, but for Panchayat it is 243I. And there is a Election Commission of India under article 324, but there is a Election Commission of State under article 243K. So Election Commission, which conducts, State Election Commission conducts the election to Panchayat and municipalities. Right, so this article 243A Finance Commission, 243K, 243I, 243K, these are important, and 243A is Gram Sabha. Now municipalities is 243A to 243ZZ. I think this should be P, not A, it should be P. So till O we have done. Now P to this. So what is ZZ, what is this? You should know that. So municipality is these are the article for this. Now urban local bodies government article, these are the article, this is part 9A, and important articles you should know about this is article 243 R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, A, Z, D. So this was the question asked. Committee of District Planning, this is Z, D, right? And Committee for Metropolitan Planning is this. So these were some important articles in this. So friends, this document is a very, very important document. Go through it, and many such documents will be provided to you by the mentors of team YourPedia. If you are seriously preparing for your exam of your Airport Authority of India, please start preparing with team YourPedia, which is conducting this, this entire module for I think 5th or 6th time since it was created in 2018. So since then we are creating it. So start preparing with mentors so that you are in position to get really good score and get into Airport Authority of India. Keep watching YourPedia demo channel for such more videos. Thank you.